very dedicated student athletes. And one other announcement, this would be a great time to text Grandma and Grandpa and let them know that the meet is being live streamed on YouTube. If they just go to YouTube, the Gene K. Freeman Aquatic Center channel, and look for the NSAC winter invite. And a very special good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Gene K. Freeman Aquatic Center, the Hall of Speed. We wish you a very special meet today, all of you, and we'd like to welcome our friends from Rochester, the Rochester Swim Club, a club with a heritage dating back into the 1950s. I swam there in the 1960s. Before any of you were born. And we're going to have some fun today and some good fast swimming. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we would invite you to please rise if you're able and regard the colors at the west end of the Aquatic Center. As Amy Kilpatrick, coach at Rochester, leads the United States Army Band in the playing of our national anthem. Thank you, Amy. Nice job. Except next time, Amy, more cowbell. We are ready now for event 101. I don't know where the first 100 went, but we're on event 101, the 400-yard individual medley. The best event in the program, unless you're swimming it. E1. Swimming in lane 1 is Julia Benke. Lane 2, Elizabeth McDaniel. Lane 4, Eliza Harris. Lane 5, Sydney Hernandez. And lane 6, Addison Crown. Both Julia in lane 2 and Addison in lane 6 came in without a seat time. Looks like they're going to take care of that here pretty well. Champ time in this event is 4:42.79. We'll keep an eye on that as Addison is out in a 106.1 and Julia 107.6. Julia Addison right together. Either side of 224. Suburban swimmers under 50 for their breaststroke splits. You can see some new PRs there. Addison in lane 6, turning at 4:53. Probably not going to see that champ cut, but a pretty good time to start from here. comes Anderson. And the 5:04.86, which is in gold time. Julia in lane 2, 5:10, also under the gold standard. Nice swims. And here's Sydney at 5:32. A big PR for Sydney. Another big time drop here for Eliza Harris. And a PR for Elizabeth McDaniel. And now swimming in heat 2 in lane 1 is Quinn Barone. Lane 2, Erica Turkington. Lane 3, Carissa Bell. Lane 4, Jasper Barone. Lane 5, Elise Weingarten. Lane 6, Lana Ryan. And lane 7, Rennie Reichert. And in lane 8, Eva King. Make note of Eva King swimming over in lane 8 for North Suburban. Eva is heading to Kentucky next year to swim for Asbury University. That's Ava King, not Eva. Eva is her evil twin sister. Jasper Barone is going to lead the group into the backstroke here. Jasper comes in seated at 4:31. He needs a 4:24 for champ time. That'd be a big drop, but he's out to a good start here, 1:01.8. Elise Weingarten, his teammate. She's also out fast and looking good. And Jasper turns at 2:08. But keep in mind that the zone cut for Jasper is a 4:28.3. If he can get back in a 1:03, that could be a zone time. Going to need to see at least a high 31. And there's a low 31. So Jasper well on his way to a zone time in the 400 IM. .428.29 we're looking at, and there it is, a 4:26.65 for Jasper Barone, a zone cut. Congratulations. And Elise clocks in at 4:45.99. And that is a gold time, not far off. Champ time. Nice 5:18 for Quinn Barone in lane one. That's champ time. Our next event is the 200-yard backstroke. He won. Don't forget, heat winners, there are prizes on the folding table just to the diving well side of the scores table for heat winners. Swimming in lane three, now they're all from North Suburban in this heat. It's Addie Miller, lane four, Sydney Leshevsky, and lane five, Kerrigan Dutcher. .50 yards, 55 yards to go for Sydney. And just under 150 at the 150. And we are looking at a serious time drop here. Sydney's seed time was 2:43.2. She must have done that when she was 9. And there's a 2:29.09. Big, big time drop for Sydney. Now swimming in heat 2. In lane 2, Carly Maley. In lane 3, Annika Schwartz. Lane 4, Landon Lasik. Lane 5, Riley Parisek. In lane 6, Eli Phelan. And lane 7, Brooke Bacon. Landon out in a 1:08.9. That's on pace for a big time drop again. Seeing some great swims here from both teams. A lot of PRs. On track for about a 2:18 is Landon. That'll be a 10-second drop. And a 2:20.31. 7.9 seconds off of his best time. Riley touches second with a PR. Big time drop for Brooke over in lane 7. Next event is the 100-yard butterfly. This is heat 1. In lane 2, Caitlin Marks. In lane 3, Linnea Haller. Lane 4, Isabella Dubuque. And lane 6, Dylan Hamill. And we got a little no seed time surprise here. Lane 2, Caitlin Marks came in without a seed time, and she's going to make herself a good one. And there's a 123.7. And Caitlin drops right into the silver times. Good for her. A reminder to our 50 freestylers, there'll be a 10-minute break after Heat 3 of this event. And this is Heat 2. In lane 1 is Addie Taylor. Lane 2, Samuel Snyder. Lane 3, Zoe Belling. Lane 4, Carissa Bell. Lane 5, Tara Love. In lane 7, Annika Schwartz. And in lane 8, Lucy Neward. And Carissa with a nice 105.11. And now swimming in Heat 3. In lane 1 is Sydney Leszewski. In lane 2, Penny Hauser. Lane 3, Greta Wiskus. In lane 4, Jaden Edmondson. Lane 5, Ray Robeck. Lane 6, Charlotte McIntyre. Lane 7, Aubrey Haydeck. And in lane 8, Eva Evans. As we recognize our seniors, as the theme of this meet, recognize Jaden Edmondson. In lane 4 of Rochester, he is headed right here to the University of Minnesota to be a Golden Gopher. And a 23.79 for Jaden on the way out. Jaden's best time, a 49.88. At a 51.30. A real nice time for mid-February. Jaden comes in with the 6th fastest time in Minnesota. And that's a great swim. A nice 102.19 for Ray Roback. North Suburban, that's a good one. And now we're going to take a 10-minute break. The official meet time is 9:26. We will be resume at 9:36. All pools are open. Competition pool is open if you'd like. Okay, we are just a minute away from the 50 freestyle, so let's clear the competition pool. Everybody, let's clear the pool. Never mind. Our next event is the 50-yard freestyle. We have 11 heats. Heat 1. In lane 3 is Anna Haspert. Lane 4, Sam Vang. Lane 5, Bellamy Mulcahy. And lane 6, Bella Koski. And there's a nice 34-6 for Sam. Heat 2. In lane 1, Hugo Mori. Lane 2, Joseph McGann. Lane 3, Alex Nolan. Lane 4, Xavier Pinsky. Lane 6, Lola Guggens. And Lola is flying over in lane 6, a little no time surprise. And Lola under 30, 29-38. And there's a new best time for Xavier in lane 4. Now heat 3. Swimming in lane 1, Elliot Keene. Lane 2, Addie McGurran. Lane 4, Sophie Knowles. Lane 5, Quinn Myers. Lane 6, Jake Wallace. Lane 7, Siddharth Siddharaju. And lane 8 is Suhas Siddharaju. And a new PR for Sophie in lane 3. Heat 4. Lane 1, Anna Raver. Lane 2, Abby Tharaldson. In lane 3, Marshall Den. Lane 5, Eli Maschke. Lane 6, Dorothy McVeigh. And lane 8, Daphne Sitari. Now heat 5. In lane 1, Tori Sonic. Lane 2, Mava Quast. 3, Tristan Malik. Lane 4, Vince Foley. In lane 5, Lynn Berthume. Lane 7, Charlotte Cambron. And lane 8, Keely Anderson. And now heat 6. In lane 1 is Peter Overgaard. Lane 2, Rua Schwartz. Lane 3, Aubrey Mullman. Lane 4, Cullen Lapsley. Lane 5, Dorianne McVeigh. In lane 6, Isabel Ip. 7, Addison Mullman. And lane 8, Sophia Vang. .30.8 for Cullen. Nice swim and a PR. And now heat 7. In lane 8, Eli Harold. Lane 1 is Eli. Lane 2, Eliza Harris. Lane 3, Zoe Butler. In lane 5, Adeline Peterson. Lane 6, Tara Love. Lane 7, Lucy Foster. And in lane 8, Amelia Pohl. Ooh, and Adeline, 28:01, even with the extra stroke. A best time. Heat 8. In lane 1 is Zoe Belling. Lane 2, Amelia Bianchet. Lane 3, Vrenny Richard Reichard. Lane 4, Rick Joyner. Lane 5, Arabella Layton. And lane 6, Max Nembergood. And Max is rolling. There's a 27.3 for Max. Second and a half best time. And a whole batch of PRs in that heat. Nice job, kids. Now heat 9. In lane 1, Aubrey Haydeck. Lane 2, Abby Otten. In lane 3, Julia Benke. In lane 4, she's headed to St. Norbert's College in Wisconsin next year. That's Emma Dees. Lane 5, Carissa Bell. In lane 6, also another senior headed to Springfield College in Massachusetts, Kylie Nordenstrom. Lane 7, Erica Turkington. And lane 8, Addison Cram. And now heat 10. In lane 1, Lana Ryan. Lane 2, Eva King. Lane 3, Elise Weingarten. Lane 4, Madeline Gao. Lane 5, Sam Olchin. Lane 6, Kaylee McKee. Lane 7, Lucas Wang. And lane 8, Grace Barone. And Madeline Gao, 25:01. And now swimming in heat 11, our top seeded heat. In lane 1 is Greta Wiskus. Lane 2, Cole Brodeen. Lane 3, Gavin Potter. Lane 4, Jaden Edmondson. Lane 5, Tucker Holmes. Lane 6, Julia Ogren. In lane 7, headed to Dordt University in Iowa next year, Lucy Barofka. And in lane 8, for North Suburban, Ray Robeck. And Jaden, 21:69, 22:11 for teammate Tucker. A couple of nice early season times here. Swimmers, and a reminder that in all the warm-up pools, you must sit and slip. No jumping in, no diving in. Sit and slip rules apply in the warm-up pools always. All right, we're ready to move on now to the 200-yard breaststroke. He won. Swimming in lane 3, Isabel Mansheim. Lane 2, Addie Miller. In lane 3, Audrey Borofka. .50 to go. Addie Miller, our leader. Looking to be just a little over 3 minutes for both Addie and her teammate Audrey. All three swimmers in this heat establishing new times, new seed times, as they are new to this event. Now heat 2. Swimming in lane 1 is Maya Sage. Lane 2, Ava Evans. Lane 3, Peter Overgaard. Lane 4, Eliza Harris. Lane 6, Kelly Ward. Lane 5 is Kelly Ward. Lane 6, Olivia Layton. And lane 7, Sydney Hernandez. Leading at the 100, Eliza Harris out to 130. Her best time is a 3:06. So anything under 136, and she's got herself a PR. And it's 138 pace, so Liza's going to have to kick it into high gear here to get a PR today. And it was a terrific last 50, just as we'd hoped. And Liza goes 3:05.46 for a new best time. Also, new PR for Sydney in lane 7, Kelly in lane 3. Best time for Maya in lane 1. Olivia dropped 7 seconds off of her best time. And now swimming in heat 3. In lane 1, Annika Schwartz. In lane 2, Sydney Lesashevsky. Lane 3, Sophia Wynn. Lane 4, Gabe Brodeen. In lane 5, Jasper Barone. In lane 6, next year headed to Carthage in Kenosha, Wisconsin to swim in college, Grace Barone. In lane 7, Claire Whitcomb. And in lane 8, Elizabeth McDaniel. Swimmers in the 50 backstroke, please be aware that we are going to consolidate heats 1 and 2. So there will be no heat 1. We're going to go right to heat 2. .108.7 for Jasper. Gabe coming up a little bit here. And also swimming very well relative to her seed time. Sophia in lane 3. All 3 of these young swimmers are on their way to some very good times here. .50 to go for Jasper. He's 145 high. Look at it, maybe a 23. And that would be a PR. And a 22 for Jasper, that's a PR. Sophia, 230.28. That's her best time by a half a second. And that is very, very close to a zone time, just hundredths of a second away. Clearly get it next time. Our next event is the 50-yard backstroke, and remember, we are consolidating heats 1 and 2. So Lauren, who was in heat 1, is going to move to lane 8, and heat 2 should step forward. That's Sam, Tristan, Suhas, Xavier, Chase, Siddharth, and Hugo, and Lauren ready to swim here. And looks like we are all present and accounted for. Heat 2. In lane 1, Sam Vang. Lane 2, Tristan Malik. Lane 3, Suhas Sundaraju. Lane 4, Xavier Pinsky. Lane 6 rather, Siddharth Sundaraju. Lane 7, Hugo Mori. And lane 8, Lauren Haspert. And Sam came in without a seed time. She's got one now, 38.89. Heat 3. In lane 1 is Dylan Hamill. Lane 4, Levi Wallace. Lane 5, Keely Anderson. Lane 7, Quinn Myers. And in lane 8, Elliot Keene. And a 43.2, big drop for Levi. Best time for Keely, best time for Dylan. Now heat 4. Swimming in lane 1 is Lynn Berthiaume. In lane 2, Charlotte Cambron. Lane 3, Eloise Peterson. Lane 4, Isabella Dubuque. Lane 5, Kinsey Scrollis. Lane 6, Dorothy McVeigh. Lane 7, Clara Hames. And lane 8, Sophia Vang. Heat 5. In lane 1, Elsa Schwartz. Lane 2, Quinn Barone. Lane 3, Ben Etmond. Lane 4, Max Nemmergut. Lane 5, Samuel Snyder. Lane 6 is Eli Phelan. Lane 7, Isabel Ip. And lane 8, Morgan Trinka. And Max's time is going to be a 31 something. And that should be a PR. We'll see what the backup says. But that's a great swim. Next up is the 100-yard individual medley. He won. Swimming in lane 2, Joseph McGann. Lane 4, Bellamy McCahey. Lane 6, Addie McGurran. And lane 7, Eli Horrell. We may need to go to the backup times here for Heat 1. We may have had a soft touch in lane 7. Heat 2. In lane 1, Sophie Knowles. Lane 2, Zora Soma. Lane 3, Marshall Den. Lane 4, Ben Bowler. In lane 5, Charlotte Cambron. Lane 6, Daphne Sitari. Lane 7, Jake Wallace. And in lane 8, Ivy Tharaldson. And there's Ben clocking in at a 127.80. That's a big 17-second drop for Ben. Marshall with a 12-second PR. Big time drops across the board here. And now heat 3. In lane 1 is Maeva Quast. Lane 2, Linnea Haller. Lane 3, Lexi Jackson. Lane 4, Amelia Vandenbroek. Lane 5, Dathy McVeigh. Lane 6, Ruha Schwartz. In lane 7, Tristan Malik. And lane 8, Lynn Berthume. And Lexi, a 1:33, best time by almost 7 seconds. When the starter says thank you, swimmers, that's your cue to climb out of the water and make way for the next batch of great swims. Heat 4. In lane 1 is Eloise Peterson. Lane 2, Kinsey Squillis. Lane 3, Maya Sage. In lane 4, Dorian McVeigh. Lane 5, Addie Taylor. In lane 6, Kelly Ward. Lane 7, Aubrey Molman. And in lane 8, Adeline Stevens. And Addie Taylor with a sweet 122. Now heat 5. In lane 1 is Zoe Belling. Lane 2, Adeline Peterson. Lane 4, Eliza Harris. Lane 5, Eva Evans. And in lane 7, Amelia Pohl. And now heat 6. Swimming in lane 1, Riley Parizek. Lane 2, Sydney Lisaszewski. Lane 3, Lauren Mackey. In lane 5, Kylie Nordenstrom. In lane 6, Audrey Borofka. Lane 7, Julia Wang. Lauren Mackey out fast, going out like a taxi driver with her hair on fire. Boy, a 106.5 for Lauren. Great swim. All right, ready now for the heat 7. Swimming in lane 1 is Lucy Borofka. Lane 2, Gabby Bush. Lane 3, Abby Wright. In lane 4, Gabe Brodeen. In lane 5, Ellie Bina. In lane 6, Emma Dees. In lane 7, Lana Ryan. And in lane 8, Ava King. Going to be some fun swims in here. Obviously, Gabe from Rochester already under a minute. But keep an eye on Ellie Bina in lane 5. Ellie, one of the top distance swimmers in the state. So expect a really good second half out of Ellie. Abby Wright looking really good in lane 3 as well. And Gabe's going to have a nice one, 58.45. Second and a half best time, a 102.3. That's the top 20 in the state right there for Ellie. And a 104 for Abby rather. Gabby was 107. All right, our next event is event 108, 200-yard freestyle. Heat 1. Swimming in lane 3, Anna Raver. In lane 4, Olivia Layton. Lane 5 is Caitlin Marks. And in lane 6, Adlyn Stevens. We have 4 swimmers in this heat that are new to this event, no seed times. So 4 new PRs coming here shortly. Caitlin in lane 5 having a real good swim. And here comes Caitlin with a 2:39.02. And 2:32 is a silver time. First time out, they're going to swim for Caitlin. Olivia, going to be about a 3:09 something. Now heat 2. Swimming in lane 1, Lucy Foster. Lane 2, Lexi Jackson. In lane 3, Isabel Mensheim. Lane 4, Riley Parizek. Lane 5, Zoe Butler. And in lane 6, Isabella Dubuque. And at the 100, little outside smoke over here in lane 1. Lucy Foster out in the 106. Lucy, no seed time coming in, so she qualifies both as outside smoke and a no seed time surprise. And Zoe Butler, with 50 to go, takes over the lead from Lucy by a half second. And Zoe, smooth as silk, in at a 2:17.9. Very close to a gold time for Zoe. Heat 3. Swimming in lane 1, Nadia Schubauer. Lane 2, Lauren Mackey. Lane 3, Rick Joyner. In lane 4, Julia Benke. In lane 5, Landon Lasek. Lane 6, Carly Maley. Lane 7 is Sydney Hernandez. And lane 8, Emilia Bianche. Julia Benke jumping out to an earlier lead. And Julia is going to have a good one. She's going to be about a 2:05 or 6. She just needs to buy a last 50 here. Keep that turnover up, bring up the legs maybe. And there it is, a 2:04.6, even with the extra stroke on the end. A 5-second PR for Julia. And now heat 4. Swimming in lane 1, Kaylee McKee. Lane 2, Sophia Wynn. Lane 3, Emma Deese. Lane 4, Allison Cram. In lane 5, Grace Summerbell. Lane 6, Lucas Wang. Lane 7, Rennie Reichard. And lane 8, Arabella Layton. Recognizing our seniors that are moving on to swim in college. Lane 5, Grace Summerbell of North Suburban. She is headed to the University of Sioux Falls in South Dakota. Sophia Wynn out 60.6. And with a terrific last 100, Lucas Wang, 2:04.15. Best time for Lucas by a few tenths. And in second 2:05:47 for Sophia. And swimming as we swap out the pad in lane 7. Swimming in heat 5, our fastest seeded heat. Swimming in lane 1, Elise Weingarten. In lane 2, Madeline Gao. In lane 3, Cole Brodeen. In lane 4, Tucker Holmes. Lane 5, Julia Ogren. In lane 6, Abby Wright. In lane 7, Jasper Barone. And in lane 8, Gabby Bush. Tucker out in 23:60. Tucker is currently ranked 15th in Minnesota swimming in the USA swimming rankings. He has been a 143.9 out in a 49.5, and he could be right around that time, maybe a little bit faster. Always great when you taper from your PR. He'll be looking for a very low 26. Oops, high 26. Maybe we get it home here. Need to bring up the legs, Tucker. Julia Ogren with a real nice swim in the works here too. Julia, one of the top 200 freestylers in Minnesota swimming. There's a 143.7 for Tucker. Very close to his best time. Julia, he is a 153.5. That improves on her best time by a tenth or so. And she will stay in 10th place in the USA swimming rankings. We're going to take a 10-minute break now to provide the swimmers the rest they need. So we'll be resting for 10 minutes. All right, we are ready now for event 109, 50-yard breaststroke. He won. Swimming in lane 1, Bellamy Mulcahy. Lane 2, Sam Vang. Lane 3, Elliot Keene. Lane 4 is Caitlin Marks. Lane 5, Vince Foley. Lane 7, Addie McGurran. And lane 8, Anna Hespert. And there's a 43.06 for Caitlin. Now heat 2. And another heat of wonderful learning opportunities here. In lane 1, Chase Bertling. Lane 2, Xavier Pinsky. In lane 3, Anders is missing. Lane 4, Suhas Sundaraju. Lane 5, Zora Soma. Lane 6, Lauren Hespert. Lane 7, Quinn Myers. And lane 8, Evie Tharaldson. And now heat 3. In lane 2, Linnea Haller. Lane 3, Mava Quast. Lane 4, Tristan Malik. In lane 5, Clara Hames. In lane 6, Sophia Vang. In lane 7, Daphne Sitari. And in lane 8, Siddharth Sundaraju. 42.9 for Sophia Vang. Nice 5-second drop there. And now swimming in heat 4 in lane 1, Adlin Stevens. Lane 2, Tori Sonic. In lane 3, Peter Overgaard. Lane 4, Quinn Barone. Lane 5, Cullen Lapsley. Lane 6, Marshall Then. In lane 7, Ben Bowler. And lane 8, Elsa Schwartz. Nice 37 flat for Quinn. Almost her best time. And we do have a best time for Cullen in lane 5. Our next event is the 100-yard backstroke. Heat 1. Swimming in lane 1 is Adlin Stevens. Lane 2, Aubrey Molman. Lane 3, Sophie Knowles. In lane 4, Lola Guggens. And in lane 7, Anna Raver. And Laura establishes a new best time, a 1:12.58. Heat 2. In lane 1, Elliot Keene. Lane 2, Rua Schwartz. Lane 3, Kinsey Squillis. Lane 4, Isabel Yip. Lane 5, Levi Wallace. In 6, Keely Anderson. Lane 7, Eli Maschke. And in lane 8, Amelia Vandenbroek. We may be looking at a new best time here for Isabel in lane 4. Got to kick your legs, Isabel. And a 1:29.79, and that is a PR by exactly 3 seconds. Now heat 3. Swimming in lane 1, Eli Harrell. Lane 3, Lucy Neward. Lane 4, Samuel Snyder. In lane 5 is Zoe Butler. Lane 6, Elizabeth McDaniel. Lane 7, Darren Lau. And in lane 8, Morgan Trinka. And Zoe, 1:14. Best time by a bunch, about 6 seconds. And a best time by a few tenths also for Elizabeth. And now heat 4. In lane 1, Julia Wang. Lane 4, Kylie Nordenstrom. In lane 5, Max Nembergood. Lane 6, Eli Phelan. In lane 7, Arabella Layton. And lane 8, Lucy Foster. .32.6 at the 50 for Max. Looking at about a 1:07, which would be about a 3-second time drop for Max. And a nice swim. And it's a 1:08.7 for Max. Best time by a couple seconds. And now heat 5. Swimming in lane 1 is Lauren Mackey. Lane 2, Landon Lasik. Lane 3, Carissa Bell. Lane 4, Lucy Borofka. Lane 5, Lana Ryan. Lane 6, Brooke Bacon. Lane 7, Vrenny Reichert. And lane 8, Grace Somerville. Carissa and her teammate Landon having a couple of good swims here. Pair of 105s. PR for both of them. And now swimming in heat 6. In lane 1 is Abby Wright. Lane 2, Greta Wiskus. Lane 3, Gavin Potter. In lane 4, our top seed Jaden Edmondson. In lane 5 is teammate Tucker Holmes. In lane 6 is Ellie Bina. Lane 7, Abby Otten. And in lane 8, Charlotte McIntyre. Jaden and Tucker in lanes 4 and 5. Two of the top 11 breaststrokers in the state right now. And their teammate Gavin Potter in lane 3 is also top 20. Jaden really getting after it. Jaden's got a futures cut. He's been 50.22. 24.6 was the split when he swam that. At the Wisconsin meet. And 51.04. 51.33 for Tucker. Very close to best times for each of the three men. And we move on now to heat event 111, the 200-yard butterfly. This is heat 1. Swimming in lane 4 for Rochester is Cole Brodeen. In lane 5 for North Suburban, Ray Robeck. Just under 101 for Cole on the way out. And Ray a 107. Cole's best time in this event, a 209. With a pair of 34s, he could better that time. And there's a 33.5. He's on his way. Remember, we're looking at a 209.02 for a PR. And there it is, 208.92. PR by a tenth of a second. We'll take it. Personal record is a personal record. And a 223.7 for Ray. Our next event is the 100-yard freestyle. Heat 1. In lane 3, Daphne Sitari. Lane 4, Vince Foley. In lane 5, Evie Thoroldson. And in lane 8, Joseph McGann. And sneaking in way over in lane 7. 112.5 for Joseph. And now Heat 2. In lane 2, Xavier Pinsky. Lane 3, Zora Soma. Lane 4, Eli Maschke. Lane 5, Marshall Then. In lane 6, Jake Wallace. And in lane 7, Lola Guggens. And Lola turns a no time into a 108.56, just like magic. And Xavier in at about a 225 high. Ready now for heat 3. Swimming in lane 1 is Quinn Myers. Lane 2, Tori Sonic. Lane 3, Linnea Heller. Lane 4, Lexi Jackson. In lane 5, Kelly Ward. Lane 7, Keely Anderson. And lane 8, Dylan Hemmel. And we're going to have a big time drop here for Kelly Ward. Ooh, and even with the extra stroke, a 1:14.97, that's an 11-second drop. And now heat 4. In lane 1, Addison Millman. Lane 2, Isabel Yip. Lane 3, Levi Wallace. In lane 4, Lucy Neward. Lane 5, Darren Lau. In lane 6, Olivia Layton. Lane 7, Ben Bowler. Lane 8, Clara Hames. And teammates Lucy and Darren drag themselves to 3-second PRs, both of them. Nice swims. Now heat 5. In lane 1, Eli Hurl. Lane 2, Maya Sage. Lane 3, Annika Schwartz. Lane 5, Isabel Mensheim. Lane 6, Amelia Pohl. Lane 7, Dorian McVeigh. And lane 8, Eloise Peterson. And Annika 101.90. A gold time and a big drop. Now, heat 6. In lane 1, Quinn Barone. Lane 2 is Kerrigan Dutcher. Lane 3, Zoe Butler. Lane 4, Amelia Bianchet. Lane 5, Julia Wang. Lane 6, Brooke Bacon. Lane 7, Zoe Belling. And lane 8, Lucy Foster. And pulling away to a nice time here, 101.72 for Amelia. And a whole heat of best times. Now heat 7. In lane 2, Nadia Schubauer. Lane 3, Cindy Hernandez. Lane 4, Rick Joyner. 5, Grace Barone. Lane 6, Charlotte McIntyre. And lane 7, Tara Love. And Rick under a minute for the first time, 59.75. And now heat 8. In lane 1, Carly Maley. Lane 2, Addie Miller. In lane 3, Gabby Bush. Lane 4, Sam Holchin. 5 is Lauren Mackey. In lane 6, Audrey Borovka. Lane 7, Abby Otten. And in lane 8, Aubrey Haydeck. And Sam Holchin out fast, 56.63. Maybe seeing a new PR here. 56.21 is the seed. There it is. 55.75 for Sam. And now swimming in heat 9. In lane 1 is Grace Summerbell. Lane 2, Greta Wiskus. Lane 3, Lucy Borofka. Swimming in lane 4, Julia Ogren. In lane 5, Gabe Brodeen. Lane 6, Sophia Wynn. Lane 7, Madeline Gao. And lane 8, Emma Dees. Julia Ogren out in 24-7. And there's a 51.54 for Julia. That's the 9th fastest 100 free in Minnesota so far this year. Nice swim for Julia. Our next event is a 10-minute break. And the official meet time is 11:23. We will resume at 11:33. We are about a minute and a half away from the start of the 50 fly. We'd love for our timers to report to their chairs. Our officials are at their stations. We'll be ready to go right at 11:33.00, 1 minute from now. Our next event is the 50-yard butterfly. We are consolidating heats. We are going to start with heat 2. Lauren from heat 1 is going to move into heat 2, lane 1. So we will start out with Lauren, Suhas, Ariel, Anna, Siddharth, Bellamy, and Peter. So be ready to swim, kids, when you hear the whistles. This is the 50-yard butterfly. Heat 2. In lane 1, Lauren Hespert. Lane 2, Suhas Sundaraju. Lane 4, Anna Hespert. Lane 5, Siddharth Sundaraju. Lane 6, Bellamy Mulcahy. And lane 7, Peter Overgaard. And both Peter and Bellamy, 46 for Bellamy and probably a 45 mid for Peter. And here comes Laura with her first ever 200 fly. Great learning experience coming up here. And now heat 3. Swimming in lane 1, Ruha Schwartz. Lane 2, Zora Soma. Lane 3, Clara Hames. In lane 4, Eloise Peterson. Lane 5, Amelia Vanderbroek. Lane 6, Dorothy McVeigh. And lane 7, Eli Matschke. And lane 8, Charlotte Cambron. Couple of PRs there in the middle of the pool. Zora, Eloise, Amelia, all fast. And now swimming in heat 4. In lane 1, Maya Sage. Lane 2, Elizabeth McDaniel. In lane 3, Addie Taylor. In lane 4, Lucas Wang. In lane 5, Colin Lapsley. Swimming in lane 6, Eli Phelan. In lane 7, Ben Etmond. And in lane 8, Elsa Schwartz. And a 28.76 for Lucas. Best time by a few 100s. A PR is a PR. Our next event is the 100-yard breaststroke. This is heat 1. In lane 1 is Aubrey Malman. Lane 2, Anna Hestard. Let's start over. Lane 2 is Aubrey. Lane 3 is Anna. Lane 4, Joseph McGann. Lane 5, Vince Foley. And lane 6, Alex Nolan. .130.78 for Joseph. This whole heat first timers in this event. Now heat 2. Swimming in lane 1 is Bette Edmond. Lane 2, Addison Mulliman. Lane 4, Jake Wallace. In lane 5, Sophia Vang. Lane 6, Tori Sonic. Lane 7, Sophie Knowles. And lane 8, Sam Vang. And getting after it, Sophia Vang in lane 5. 44-2 at the 50. This is a first time for Sophia. And putting together a nice second 50 over in lane 8 is Sam Vang. Sophia at 137.8. Sam 139.8. Now heat 3. Swimming in lane 1, probably with a little extra shot of adrenaline, is Kinsey Squillis. In lane 2, Morgan Trinka. Lane 3, Ben Bowler. Lane 4, Dorianne McVeigh. Lane 5, Olivia Layton. Lane 6, Maeva Quast. Lane 7, Anna Raver. And lane 8, Lynn Berthume. And Dorianne going out like a house that is on fire. And Dorianne 137.45. And in the time it took Anna to swim her second 50, our deck crew swapped out a touchpad. Let's have a big hand for the crew here from the Gene K. Freeman Aquatic Center staff and the job they're doing. And now let's swim heat 4. In heat 4, lane 1, Cullen Lapsley. Lane 2, Riley Parisek. In lane 3, Julia Wang. In lane 4, Arabella Layton. Lane 5, Addie Miller. Lane 7, Kelly Ward. And in lane 8, Darren Lau. This is Addie Miller in lane 5. Doing her best Lily King impression. And Addie is going to hang on and punch the pad for a 123.98. And that is a best time. Now swimming in heat 5 in lane 1, Gabby Bush. In lane 2, Madeline Gao. In lane 3, Ray Robeck. Lane 4, Tucker Holmes. Lane 5, Grace Barone. Lane 6, Aubrey Haydeck. Lane 7, Abby Wright. And in lane 8, Brooke Bacon. At the 50, Tucker 28.88. Tucker has been a 103.7. If he comes back with any kind of second 50, he's going to have a season's best time. Madeline Gao has got a nice one going too. And there's a 102.04 PR for Tucker Holmes. And Madeline Gao in at 108.59. A 7-second drop and a great swim. 108.59, top 30 in the state for breaststroke. And now we move on to the 200-yard individual vigili. Heat 1. In lane 2, Edlyn Peterson. Lane 3, Caitlin Marks. Lane 5, Addison Mullman. And in lane 6, Alexi Jackson. Adlin Peterson. A new time of 2:35.26. And Caitlin, 2:55.9. Very close to a silver cut. Nice place to start your 200 IM career. And Addison, 3:17. Now how he too. In lane 1, Amelia Vandenberg. Lane 2, Elsa Schwartz. Lane 3, Isabella Dubuque. Lane 4 is Lucy Neward. In lane 5, Amelia Pohl. Lane 6, Morgan Trinka. In lane 7, Dylan Hamill. And in lane 8, Ben Edmond. And at the 100, got a dandy race between Ben in lane 8 and Amelia in lane 5. And Amelia brought her breaststroke to the pool today. 51-4 split. And Ben challenging with a good freestyle leg. And the heat winner and prize winner is Ben, 2:54.7. Now heat 3. Swimming in lane 1 is Kerrigan. Lane 5, Audrey Borovka. Kerrigan Dutcher in lane 1, Audrey Borovka in 5. Lane 6, Max Nembergut. Lane 7, Samuel Snyder. And lane 8, Isabel Mansheim. And Audrey Borovka is still in the lead. But a nice breaststroke split from Max Nembergut, 46-2, 7-2 rather. And Audrey and Max push each other to a couple of nice times. Best time for Max by about 6. And now swimming in heat 4. Swimming in lane 1, Kaylee McKee. In lane 2, Erica Turkington. Lane 3, Elise Weingarten. In lane 4, Gabe Brodeen. In lane 5, Sam Olchin. In lane 6, Sophia Nguyen. Lane 7, Lucas Wang. And lane 8, Grace Somerville. Teammates Gabe and Sam in the middle of the pool. Very similar seed times. We've got a nice race going here. Also got kind of a fun little race in lanes 1 and 2. Kaylee McKee and Erica Turkington, teammates from North Suburban and Monzu High School. Gabe really showing off his breaststroke here. Sophia Wynn in lane 6. Also going to have a really nice breaststroke split. Gabe could be around 2:10, which would be a best time for him. And Sam Olchin with the freestyle. She is cooking. And a 2:11.6 for Gabe, and a PR there. Elise 15.9, Sam 16 flat. Sophia Wynn with a PR. And the official meet time is now 12:05. We are going to take a 5-minute break, and we'll meet you back here at 12:10 for the start of the 500-yard freestyle. Competition pool is open if you'd like to cool down. And timers, if you would please report back. We are 1 minute away, 30 seconds away actually. So don't run on deck, timers, but walk briskly to your chair. And counters, if you would please, if you've got a swimmer in the water, head out to the bulkhead, grab yourself some cards, and prepare to get wet. Our next event is the 12 or the 15. Start over. Our next event is the 500-yard freestyle. He won. Swimming in lane 2, Levi Wallace. In lane 3, Addie Taylor. In lane 4, Landon Lasek. Lane 5, Rick Joyner. And lane 6, Darren Lau. The synchronized swimming show in lanes 4 and 5, brought to you by Landon and Rick. Out in a 106. .109 pace for both boys. Early yet. We'll see if they can settle in under 45. I'm sorry, 34.5. 34.5, of course, is about 5:45 pace, which would be PR City for both of them. And they do have some time in the bank. They are about 4 seconds ahead of 5:45 pace and holding 108s. Things are looking good for PRs here for Landon and Rick. And of course, you all know this is the best way to swim distance. Connect up with a teammate and swim together, latch onto each other, and just keep dragging each other forward. And 107.9, 107.8 pace, 4:22 for both of them. They're actually a couple seconds ahead of the pace they need to go into the 5:30s. Big milestone. And they are on track. They're going to have some good ones here. "100 yards to go for our lead pair here, Landon and Rick. Pace still looks really good. They are both going to be in the 5:30s. Big time drops and nice times. The zone cut is 5:36.89. That might be a big lift, but not out of the realm of possibility. 32.9 and 33 flat. They've got a shot if they can really bring this back. And they are clearly going for it. Once again, that zone time. Oh, and I read the wrong column. 5:33.51. Very close to the zone time of 5:27.89. Couple of big swims. And Addie Taylor in at 7:03. That's Addie's best time by 5 seconds. Pretty big day for the Rochester distance kids. And there is Darren Lau, 7:24. And lane 2, Levi, swimming his first 500. And way to go, Levi. You've taken your first step into a larger world, young Jedi. Our next event is the 1,000-yard freestyle. Swimming in lane 1, Eva King. Lane 2, Kaylee McKee. In lane 3, Erica Turkington. Lane 4, Gavin Potter. In lane 5, Ellie Bina. Lane 6, Kylie Nordenstrom. And lane, that's it. No Carly. Kind of a treat here to watch in this particular race. Gavin Potter of Rochester, an outstanding seed time that would be the 7th fastest time in Minnesota thus far this year. And in lane 5, Ellie Bina, who currently holds the 4th fastest time. Her PR actually from a year ago would be the 2nd fastest 1,000 swum in Minnesota. And she clearly is one of the premier distance freestylers in Minnesota swimming. Gavin splitting 28.3. And Ellie pretty clearly has this on cruise. We've renewed the duel we saw in the 200 IM here between Kaylee and Erica in lanes 2 and 3. They're basically doing synchro. Gavin still splitting mid 58s. Oh, one more 50 before we see what the pace he really settles in at. And Ellie, after a very casual 250 or 200, is now kind of kicking it down. .59 pace for Gavin. That could absolutely get him under 10 minutes. His best of 9:52. .400 yards in, and Gavin at 3:49. If he can stay under 30, he will break his PR by a bunch. Gavin still under a minute for his pace as he chips away And Gavin's first 30-point. Still on track for a PR, but he's going to have to knock those tenths off of that 30-point and just hold 30 flat the rest of the way. .300 yards to go for Gavin. Make that 250. And the pace up to 102. Still very likely under 10 minutes. .150 yards to go. Gavin bounced back just a little bit. Going to need a batch of mid-29s to PR here, but still going to have a solid time. And Gavin's going to be with a solid mid-1950 something. .100 yards to go for Ellie. And she will be in the 1040s. Gavin, 9:54.15. Only about a second and a half off of his PR. A very solid swim. And 50 to go for Ellie. And Ellie, 10:49.87. And as both Erica and Kylie go down to enjoy the distance swimmer's favorite color, orange. Swimmers, as we look to wrap up the meet, we're going to close the diving well. So cool downs in the west pool. The diving well is closed. Kylie, 11:33. And that's a PR. Erica, 11:37. And Kaylee, 11:55. And Eva coming in without a seed time, so she'll set a PR with this swim. And Ava Leva, 12:38.7. And swimming in heat 2, lane 3, Nadia Schubauer, lane 4, Amelia Bianchet, lane 5, Tara Love, and lane 6, Izzy Manshine. And as with so many of our seeded heats earlier in the meet, we have no seed times for any of the swimmers here, so it will be PRs across the board. And we'll begin the speculation on what those times might be after we get the swimmers a couple hundred yards in and we can see what the splits look like. This would be a great time to offer up a big thank you to all the volunteers, both the meet directors and all of their volunteer corps from North Suburban, for making it for a fun invitational. There's been a lot of great swimming, so thank you for this opportunity, volunteers. We appreciate it very much. And also to our officials who work hard to make sure that the results are meaningful, that all the strokes are legal and the finishes are good. So the officials all the way from our admin Linda to all of our deck officials, our referee, our starter, thank you for helping making our results meaningful and in many cases a meaningful learning experience. Thank you. Leading the way at the 200, Nadia and Amelia. 117 pace. At the 400, still Nadia and Amelia. And Tara with the fastest split on the board. So she could be joining her teammates here shortly. Isabel over in lane 6, manufacturing endorphins and holding about a 125 pace. And as we celebrate the halfway point, Nadia has picked up the pace a little bit, which is what you do when you're halfway through a distance race. Just a little over 7 minutes for our trio in lanes 3, 4, 5. And Nadia cruising along with a nice high 118 pace. About the same for Tara. And ask not for whom the bell tolls. Nadia Schubauer, it tolls for thee. Seems like we just started, and we're already hearing bells. And she and Tara turn right together. A race to the finish. They're looking at each other. Looks like Tara had just a little more gas in the tank. And Tara 12:57.4, Nadia 12:59.8. So under 13 minutes to start their careers as 1,000 swimmers. Congratulations, ladies. And here is Amelia, 13:24. And Isabel, 13:41.59. So new best times for everyone there in Heat 2. Congratulations, ladies. And once again, big thanks to our officials and all the volunteers, timers, and meet volunteers. We appreciate it very much. Safe travels, everybody, and we hope everybody has just an absolutely great month of training